Are we live? Are we live, ladies and gentlemen? Someone say you can hear me. Someone say you can't see me. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing? Ladies and gentlemen, the champ is back. The champ is here. Wow. 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 Guys, I'm sweating bullets just because of excitement. I had my AC on during the Roman Reigns and Edge match, right? Just to keep the room all cool, because I try not to have the AC on during reviews because it could get hot, right? And then when you have all this equipment on and the lights, you tend to sweat. But I'm sweating, and we just started the podcast because man, look, it doesn't matter if you like this pay-per-view or not. And yes, there was definitely some stuff we're gonna rant about. Definitely. If you guys have Twitter and you aren't following me, I don't know why. Man, because you guys can get basically a mini pay-per-view review just by my tweets during pay-per-views. Like, if you follow me on Twitter and you saw how I was tweeting after every match, after every big moment, you guys know how I felt about this pay-per-view. This wasn't an epic pay-per-view. It wasn't even a great pay-per-view. But the last two moments, Big E winning Money in the Bank, the Roman Reigns versus Edge match, and then the ending. Even though the ending was predictable, I told you guys for months, for weeks, that Seth Rollins was going to cost Edge the match. That was predictable. Seth Rollins and Edge at SummerSlam. But man, the dirt sheet said that John Cena was going to be coming back this Friday. But the second I saw Roman Reigns motioning for the mic, right, I knew what was going to happen. But still, that was one of the greatest pops. Maybe, and I'm serious when I say this. I know some people are going to say recency bias. I know some people are going to, say whatever. Go back. I rewatched that moment like 5 times before I clicked start stream on my OBS. That may have been the greatest pop in WWE history. And I'm serious. There have been amazing pops, right? Like Stone Cold Steve Austin in the Attitude Era when Mankind won the WWE Championship for the first time. Or The Rock returning for the first time back in 2011 when he was the host of WrestleMania 27, right? Or Brock Lesnar when he came back to WWE for the first time in nearly a decade in 2012 when he hit John Cena with the F5 on the Raw after John Cena had lost to The Rock at WrestleMania 28. You can go down the list. There are so many amazing pops, so many amazing moments, but that may have been, and I am serious when I say this, people, that may have been the greatest pop in the history of WWE. That was absolutely epic. It doesn't matter if you like this show or not. If you did not pop, it doesn't matter if you're a fan of John Cena or not. If you did not pop, no matter where you were, in your house, at the arena, in a car, no matter where you were, if you did not pop when John Cena's music started playing, you are insane. It's that simple. You are insane. That moment, even though I saw it coming from a mile away, I stood up in my bedroom crying, legit tears of joy, hearing that theme music. And you know what made that moment even better? Was the reaction of Michael Cole. I know there's some people out there that don't like Michael Cole. I understand. I get it. I get it, for real. Michael Cole may not be your most loved commentator. He might not be like JR and Jerry the King Lawler back in the day. But if you look at the scope of, especially John Cena's career, out of everybody, if you look at John Cena's career, there is one consistent, maybe two. Stu, the guy who runs the camera, right? You know, Cena's very close with that cameraman. Every time he makes his entrance, he says, like, Stu, what's going on, my man? And Michael Cole. Michael Cole has basically commentated every big match in John Cena's career. Look at the list. He's called all of them. All of his major title victories, all of his biggest moments, his biggest defeats, his biggest returns. Michael Cole has been there for basically all of them. Michael Cole has stated multiple times that John Cena is the greatest of all time in his opinion. And I feel like there's a lot of people that wouldn't disagree with him. Michael Cole legit had a voice crack live on commentary. I would not be surprised if Michael Cole's voice is gone. Is gone. If you heard Michael Cole's voice on commentary when Cena came out, I don't know if Michael Cole knew or not, but it really did sound like he did not know, because his voice crack, that's hard. That's really hard to make up. Seeing Michael Cole react like that to the return of John Cena, man, made that moment so much. And that arena, this is why we love wrestling. This is why we love wrestling. No matter if a show is good or bad, the universe voices their opinion, and they can determine if a show is good or bad. The crowds these last couple days for the return of WWE fans have been epic. Houston and Fort Worth, you guys have been amazing. And I don't know where Raw is tomorrow night, but I bet they'll be amazing as well. I told you guys this with the Smackdown review. Never again should we take for granted the audience. Not just in wrestling, but in sports. For real. Because they make this happen. Well, without them, there is no wrestling. Without them, we don't watch. No matter how bad the Thunderdome or the Performance Center are, no matter how much we complain, right? I will never again take for granted the power of a crowd. I will never take that for granted again. Because they are amazing. For real. But even with all the bad things that I didn't like about this show tonight, the pop for Big E, the crowd reaction for the Roman Reigns and Edge match, and the pop for John Cena's return, that was insane. And my dude Anthony, the guy I used to do the podcast with, and Anthony didn't watch. Wow. Anthony's texted me like, what happened? What did I miss? Missed like the greatest pop in the history of WWE, but either way, let me just take a second to gather myself, but wow. But, man, I don't care if you're a John Cena fan or not. If you didn't pop seeing him, you have a problem. Oh, man. I hope I don't have to refill my water during this review, but I probably will. Because, wow. And slap that like button if you guys haven't already, man. Woof. Wow. Wow. Because you look at it, guys. John Cena is the biggest megastar in the modern day WWE era. There's nobody close to him. Yes, you can argue with the run that Roman Reigns is on. He's the closest guy to John Cena. But if you look at the roster today, especially when there's more talent now than back in WWE, than back in John Cena's prime, right? And back, there was talent in Cena's era. We all know that. From the Triple H to the Randy Ortons, to the Batistas, the Undertakers, the HBKs, the Edge, the Rey Mysterios, the CM Punks. The list goes on and on and on, right? But there was tons of main event talent back in John Cena's prime when he was on top winning WWE Championships 3 to 4 times a year. But, I think we all can agree that the talent that WWE has now, even with all the releases, even with all the cuts that WWE makes, right? Still, today's WWE roster it blows away prime Attitude Era, prime PG era, prime Ruthless Aggressive era. But still, there has been nobody that has come close to prime John Cena as a megastar. Honestly. And that's on WWE's fault. That's on WWE's creative. Roman Reigns, maybe he could get there. He is undoubtedly the number one guy in WWE. We all know that. He's the number one guy in WWE. And honestly, I'll keep saying it. He should never turn babyface again. He's too good as a heel to be a babyface again. But, man. Maybe Roman Reigns could get there one day, but there is nobody close right now to prime John Cena, and that pop proves it. I don't care if Goldberg comes back tomorrow. Even if Becky Lynch comes back tomorrow. There is nobody on that roster, part-time or full-time, that can get a pop like that. I'm sorry. But I don't know, man. I need to bring myself down because I am on cloud 9. You guys know. And Edward, I see you in the chat. Yeah, I love Sasha Banks. I think she's the best female wrestler of all time. I don't even think Sasha can get a pop like that. I'm sorry. I'm like the most biased Sasha fan out there on the internet. It's definitely on YouTube. But I do not think there's anybody on the roster that can get a pop like that. No way. But, wow. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. What a way to end this weekend. Plus, we have Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. And I'm expecting most likely Becky to be back. Probably Goldberg, which, I don't want to bring my mood down. But, wow. But still, just knowing that we're going to be getting Edge and Seth Rollins and Cena versus Reigns at SummerSlam, and most likely Sasha and Bianca. Those 3 matches alone, woof. They're going to make SummerSlam absolutely epic. And as much as I complain about WWE Creative, still, I am pumped for SummerSlam now. Absolutely pumped. Yes, I'm disappointed about the WWE Championship scene with Goldberg and Bobby Lashley, if that's truly what we're getting. But if they say Biggie cashing in for SummerSlam, that could probably fix it. But either way, what a way to cap off the night. Really. Because I'll be honest with you guys, about midway through the show, especially about midway through the show, I was not happy. Look, Charlotte winning the title, it was a great match. I'll give Charlotte credit. And you guys know it's hard for me to give Charlotte credit because I am not a Charlotte Flair fan. I feel like she is heavily overrated. But I will give her credit. Her and Rhea Ripley put on a banger of a match tonight. Was it better than their WrestleMania match inside the Performance Center? Most will probably say it was just because there was no crowd. I'm going to have to refill this water. I'm already at halfway, and we haven't even gotten really into the show yet. But, yes, Charlotte and Rhea Ripley had a great match tonight. But Charlotte winning and us having to go through another Charlotte title reign, it kind of got me it took me out of the mood. Plus, I don't really want to complain too much about Nikki Cross winning Money in the Bank. You know, I'm happy for Nikki Cross. I truly am. Because it's somebody different. You know? It's somebody who deserves to be pushed. But I haven't been the biggest fan of Nikki's character. I still don't understand this superhero thing. And I really, really, really wanted to see Liv Morgan or Naomi get the win. So those two things really did bother me going into the show. And then, you know, I didn't understand. I'm over Almas, to be honest. Like, the Raw Tag Team Championship match, it was good because AJ Styles is fucking great, still in his 40s. And the Viking Raiders did their job, but I'm pretty much over Almas at this point. And I'm kind of just waiting for RK Bro to come take the Raw Tag Team titles from Styles and Almas. And I was also mad that why was Styles and Almas versus the Viking Raiders? Why was that on the show? And the Usos winning the Smackdown Tag Team Championships, getting their 7th title reign. And you guys know, I believe, as much as a fan of the New Day that I am, I love the New Day, but I believe the Usos are the best tag team in the world. Sorry, AEW fans. Sorry, Young Bucks fans. Like, sorry, get off your delusional porches for a sec. I think the Usos are the best team in the world, right? Why was their title victory over the Mysterios, why was that on the pre-show? Someone explain that to me. Why the fuck was that on the pre-show and you had the Raw Tag Team Championships on the main show? That made no sense to me. So those three things alone pissed me off. And then the fourth thing, probably the thing that got me more heated. Look, I love Big E. I am happy, so happy that he won Money in the Bank. I made a video explaining why Big E should win Money in the Bank. No matter if they wanted to do something super creative and out of this world by having Big E cash in on Kofi and turn heel, right? If you want somebody to challenge Roman Reigns to being the top heel in the company, I said do something that people would never see coming. Have Big E turn on the New Day and cash in on Kofi after Kofi beat Bobby. But instead, you know, or have Big E cash in on Bobby. It was either one or the other, right? Do the more predictable, but no one's going to complain route, and have Big E win the WWE Championship by cashing on Bobby. You know, getting payback for all the stuff that Bobby did to Kofi and Xavier. But even so, as much as I'm happy that Big E's Money in the Bank, and it looks like we know that this is most likely going to lead to Big E cashing in on Bobby, I'm super disappointed because you guys have heard me bitch and moan for years about how Kofi Kingston used to be a main event guy. A guy who held the WWE Championship for 6 months. 6 months. Half a year. And had a great title reign, to be honest. I tell you guys all the time, you don't believe me? Go back and look at the title reign yourself. Go back and look at it. And then instead, right, even if you weren't going to have Kofi become WWE Champion tonight, at least let these two go put on a classic. Let these two go put on a Match of the Year candidate. We saw Kofi and Drew McIntyre put on a Match of the Year candidate on Monday Night Raw just to see who was going to face Bobby Lashley at Hell in a Cell last month. It was a fantastic match on Monday Night Raw with damn commercials and everything. Instead of letting those two go out, you have Bobby Lashley squash. You have Bobby Lashley squash Kofi Kingston in less than 10 minutes, where Kofi, I don't even know if he got any offense in. Just for Bobby Lashley to go into SummerSlam and face fucking Goldberg. And you guys know, for those of you guys who've been listening to this podcast for a good amount of time, you guys know how much I fucking hate Goldberg. I really do. But no, this is what you decide to do, right? Why? Why would you go there and bury a former WWE champion? Because I know the dumbass casuals are going to come out and say, oh, don't worry, Kofi will get his payback in the form of Big E, right? When Big E cashes in and becomes WWE champion, he becomes WWE champion not only for himself, but the entire New Day. I know what you casuals are going to say. You clowns, I don't care. Yes, I'm happy for Big E. I want to see him succeed. I've been saying he's to be a main event guy for months. But why in the hell did you have to bury Kofi Kingston in the process? There was no need. What would have been the problem? What would be the problem with Big E getting payback for Kofi after Kofi and Bobby had just put on a classic? Why? Why did Bobby and Kofi get 8 minutes where Bobby had all the offense? Kofi got freaking squashed. That's not believable. So you're telling me it's believable for Kofi Kingston to bring Drew McIntyre to his limit? Somebody that people know is on the same level as Bobby Lashley, right? If you ask me who's better between Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, I don't know. I would say they're pretty much the same. They're great at what they do. But you tell me it makes sense for Kofi Kingston to freaking bring Drew McIntyre to his limit on Monday Night Raw just for an opportunity at the WWE Championship, but then they get absolutely squashed by Bobby Lashley. Excuse me, in less than 10 minutes where he got no offense in just for fucking Goldberg? Why? Goldberg can't wrestle. He barely could wrestle in his prime. He can't do nothing now. All he can do now is spear, jackhammer. Why in the hell does Goldberg deserve a chance at the WWE Championship? Why? What kind of nonsense was that? Why did we have to bury Kofi for Goldberg when we know the match at SummerSlam is just going to be spear. He's going to go for a jackhammer. Bobby Lashley's going to reverse it. Probably hit him with a spear of his own. Probably hit him with a flatliner. Hurt Lock. Bobby Lashley retains. And then maybe we get Big E cashing in after that. But why did we have to fucking do Kofi that dirty? Like, I'm sorry. I'm not with it. I'm not. Kofi deserved better. He really did. All you had to do, I was asking for was a 15 to 20 minute match. Let Kofi remind the world of why he's a main event star. And why he's so good at what he does and he deserves to be in the main event scene. But no, you couldn't do that because you were thinking about Goldberg's bitch ass. Absolutely insane. So those 4 things, right? Nikki Cross winning Money in the Bank over Liv and Naomi. Charlotte winning Charlotte becoming the Raw Women's Champion again. The Raw Tag Team Championship match being on the main show while the Smackdown Tag Team Championship match, where we got new champions, was on the pre-show. And the Kofi Kingston versus Bobby Lashley match where Kofi got absolutely squashed. Those 4 things really pissed me off about this show. But everything else after that was great. Big E winning Money in the Bank was fantastic, right? John Cena returning. One of the greatest pops. I've already said it earlier in this review. I think that might be the greatest pop in WWE history. Absolutely insane. Insane. Great. And the Roman Reigns and Edge match was great as well. Now we got, what? When's SummerSlam? 4 weeks away? Now, we got 4 or 5 weeks till SummerSlam. Now we got to figure out, does John Cena beat Roman Reigns? Or does Roman Reigns' run of dominance continue? That's a debate we're going to have. Because I want to see Cena get number 17. But I love what Roman Reigns has done. Roman Reigns, I'm a true Roman Reigns fan now. Because of this heel run. The heel run I said for over 5 years should happen. Honestly. So we're going to be debating about that a lot on the podcast for the next month. Should Cena beat Reigns? Or does Reigns beat Cena and this amazing heel run continue? Especially when he's this close to being 1 year's Universal Champion. I don't know, man. But those are basically in 25 minutes, that's basically would be my Money in the Bank review. But of course, like we always do, we're gonna go in depth. Man, we're already almost 30 minutes into the podcast. But like I said, man, woof, this would be a whole different review if CENA did not return at the end. I would be honest, man. I'm still all the way up here because of CENA's return. But man, if CENA had not returned, all right, we would have probably been halfway done with the show. CENA's return made this show legendary. I can complain about that first half of the show all I want. The second half of the show, great. Especially because of that CENA return. But, oh my gosh. Guys, I'm almost out of water. I'm legit almost out of water. And we barely even got into the review. But let's get into the actual review. Let's get into the intro first of all. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy FitzMonkTV here, aka GLauren33. And if you guys haven't realized it already, you are listening to the Legit Shoot podcast here on FitzMonkTV, the YouTube channel. Thank you guys so very much for joining me here tonight. This is your Money in the Bank 2021 review and results. Yes, we are live, man. I don't remember our last live pay-per-view review after a show, like right after the show, right? For the most part, we've been doing most of our pay-per-view reviews. We've been doing most of our pay-per-views like the day after. I remember last month for Hell in a Cell, we did our Hell in a Cell review during the Monday Night Raw review. But I told you guys with the return of fans, I'm still figuring out my work schedule. Like, stuff has been hectic with me and work. But I told you guys at least for Money in the Bank and for SummerSlam, I would have live reviews right after the show. But here we are. I'm glad to be here, man. And wow, what a weekend. If you guys haven't already, if you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I don't know what are you waiting for, right? Hit that damn subscribe button. Follow me down on social media. Thank you to everyone who live tweeted with me tonight during the show. But also, guys, my SmackDown review. We are back to doing SmackDown reviews, especially now that, fans are back in attendance. We have CENA back. We're going to have Sasha back probably this week. Becky's coming back on Monday. We're back to doing, normal reviews for SmackDown. So make sure if you guys missed the SmackDown review from this weekend, go check it out, right? We have the Money in the Bank review, which we're doing right now. And we'll most likely have a Monday Night Raw live stream tomorrow night where, sadly, it looks like we're going to be expecting the return of Goldberg. But I'm hoping we do get the return of Becky Lynch. But we're going to get into Money in the Bank. I've spent enough time talking about, my reaction to John Cena. But, man, it's so good to have CENA back. It really is. I don't know, man, he did come back with, like, a leprechaun shirt. He had, like, kind of like Celtics colors in a way. He had dark green and yellow. Last time we saw CENA, I think he had, like, the light green. So he went from light green to dark, But either way, CENA's back. He has yellow wristbands now, too. I don't know. Have you ever seen CENA with yellow wristbands? But CENA came back. He had that. He still has his hair, so he's still wearing a ball cap. He's still wearing a baseball cap with his hair like that. I don't know if you guys noticed. CENA had his bald spot is back. You can still see it back there. When he's on the side, and when the camera's not shining on the back of his head, the guy looked fly. He had the fresh fade and everything, man. But CENA, man, you gotta be careful not to let that bald spot shine too bright. He don't want to be like Shawn Michaels now, or Triple H, and Edge. You guys saw Edge's bald spot. Sheesh. But either way, man, let's get into Money in the Bank. Oh man, and as always, guys, super chats are open. I don't tell you guys to donate. I don't ask you guys to donate. You know, I leave that up to you guys. Everything that you guys do donate does get reinvested in the channel. So definitely. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna refill my water. If you guys give me like 45 seconds, I'm gonna run downstairs and refill this, and then we're gonna get right directly into the pre-show. So give me just a sec, man. All right, I'm back. All right. Sorry about that, yo. Whew. But let's get back to it. But yes, let's get into Money in the Bank. Thank God for your patience while I had to refill my water. But we had one match on the pre-show, and it was the Smackdown Tag Team Championship match. And I don't watch kickoff shows. I don't. You know, I honestly thought, and I told you guys this on the SmackDown review, I thought AJ Styles and Almas versus the Viking Raiders, that was going to be the pre-show match. And I thought this match with the Usos and Mysterios would be on the main card. And I don't get why. I do not get why, especially when the Usos were the ones that won this match. Why was this match not on the main card? You know, especially the championship victory. AJ and Almas retained like we all expect them to. So wouldn't the bigger moment, right? Especially when you want to have big moments on pay-per-view, especially when you have crowds back for the first time in a year and a half since the pandemic, wouldn't you want a moment like that on the pay-per-view to make the pay-per-view better? Why did you put the title change on the pre-show and have AJ and Almas? And this, I'm telling you guys, Styles and Almas versus the Viking Raiders, it wasn't a bad match. It was decent, just like I knew it was gonna be, because AJ Styles is great and the Viking Raiders are a good team. But you know, still, I don't know why they just didn't put the Raw Tag Team Championship match on the pre-show and have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match on the main show, especially when the Usos have been in one of the most important storylines all year. They've been in one of the best storylines all year with Roman Reigns. So I was like, why wasn't that storyline put on the main card? Because most people don't go and watch the kickoff show. I don't know. You know, I may go back and watch this match on the kickoff. You know, I probably will go back and watch this match from the kickoff show, but still, I don't know why. I really don't know. I don't know why this was on the pre-show. I don't understand the decision making behind that, but still, whatever. You know, there's not much we can do about that. But basically, Baseball Beach Report, they gave this match a B minus. About halfway through, a hot tag to Ray sparked the comeback. He went to deliver the 619, but Jimmy sacrificed himself, eating the boots of his opponent. So Jimmy, sacrificed himself. He wasn't the legal man. Jay was. But Jimmy took the blunt of the 619 so that, because he knew if Jay got hit with it, Jay would have got pinned. So Jay then delivered a super kick, and then they did the top rope smash, but Ray kicked out at 2. Moments later, Jay drove Ray into the top turnbuckle, and then Jimmy assisted him on the rope. So, Jay went for the pin, and then Jimmy, who was on the outside of, on the ring apron, he used his legs for, he pushed his legs into Jimmy's, or Jimmy puts his legs into Jay's back, to give that extra leverage, to allow them to get the pin and win titles. The Mysterios were very shocked afterwards, but there was nothing they could do. The decision was already final, and that was that. So the Usos now 7-time tag team champions, and I'm willing to bet when I go back and watch it, it's gonna be a good match. I have no doubt about it. These are two great teams. You guys know what I think about the Usos. I feel like the Usos are the best tag team in the world. Honestly, I think they're better than the Young Bucks. I think they're just a smidget better than the New Day. But yeah, good. Usos are now 7-time tag team champions, right? And I know there was a couple people complaining on Twitter that, the Usos didn't deserve it, especially Jimmy, because, Jimmy just recently got in trouble. He got another DUI, and WWE didn't do anything to punish him. I didn't think, you guys know how WWE is with these situations, right? They pick and choose how they want to handle it. I'm not really going to focus on too much because that's Jimmy's business. As long as he, as long as he's not out there hurting people, he should not be getting DUIs, right? And hopefully he does find some way, because it's almost, I know some people are making comparisons to like Jeff Hardy, because Jeff Hardy and all the trouble he had. Look, I don't want to make that comparison, and Jimmy's lucky that, a lot of these things haven't turned out to be worse situations. But, hopefully, he gets the help he needs so that this can no longer continue. Because I don't want to see Jimmy end up doing something that's going to hurt him and hurt others, down the line. But, WWE's going to handle that how they do. We're not in that position to make those decisions. But, especially, and remember, the Usos are in a huge storyline with Roman Reigns. So is WWE gonna, especially when they put everything, and WWE puts everything, they put 80% of their creative into Roman Reigns and his storylines. So, look, are they gonna, potentially hurt Roman Reigns by, punishing Jimmy Uso? Of course not, because Roman's their top guy. So, sure, you can say that's a negative, but that's WWE's business to handle. It's not ours. We're not in the power to make those decisions. But, whatever. I'm just going to focus on the creative side of things. Hopefully, Jimmy can, get his personal life all figured out. But still, man. Woof. What? The Usos win the tag team championships. Remember, the Dirt Sheets originally had them slated to win them at SummerSlam. But I know WWE wanted to have the Usos and those visuals of the Usos and Roman Reigns, with the titles, right? The Usos with the tag titles, Roman as the Universal Champion. And plus, we don't even know if Reigns is going to be the champion after SummerSlam. CENA is easily the biggest threat to Roman's title reign. So, and I feel like right now it's 50-50 on if you're going to have CENA win at SummerSlam and finally get number 17 and surpass Ric Flair for most world title reigns in WWE history, or if you're going to have Roman's, run continue. So, if Cena does end up winning at SummerSlam and getting number 17, right, it's better to have those visuals of the Usos and Roman holding the gold on SmackDown, right? It's better to get that out of the way now, but still, we don't know what's going to happen with SummerSlam. But, also, man, whew. I expect most likely we'll probably get a rematch between these two teams at SummerSlam. Maybe this time with a stipulation. I would love to see a ladder match. I feel like a ladder match with these two teams would be perfect. The Usos and the Mysterios, their high-flying abilities would be perfect You know, if you want to make SummerSlam to the biggest show of the year, the Usos versus the Mysterios, it's maybe like with that being the opener of the show. You guys remember back in the day during the Attitude Era, you know, like when the Dudley Boys and the Hardys and, you know, Edge and Christian, uh, and all these other teams, you know, they would always do these crazy matches to start off pay-per-views. You know, ladder match was one of them. We don't get to see a lot of, you know, and I know we did get the Money in the Bank ladder matches, but I would not mind seeing a ladder match with these two teams, you know, at SummerSlam. But we'll see. But I do expect some type of rematch between these teams at SummerSlam. Probably the Usos will retain, but who knows? Who knows? But NBA YouTube says Cena's not winning. Dude, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. And yeah, I see Greg. You guys think Cena's too busy with movies, guys. Here's the thing, you guys have to understand. Yeah, if Cena wins the title at SummerSlam, yeah, he's not gonna hold it for a long time. Remember, when Cena won his last world title against AJ Styles at Royal Rumble, he held that title for 2 weeks and then lost in the Elimination Chamber to Bray Wyatt. If Cena wins that title, I'm not expecting Cena to go on a 1-year title reign. No one's expecting that. But definitely, and this is WWE we're talking about. I can definitely see WWE giving Cena the title and then giving it right back to Roman. They are the type to do that. Like, would you guys really be surprised if Cena won at SummerSlam? And people have been wanting to see Cena get number 17 now for years. I'm one of those people. You know, would it be the best decision to end Roman's 1-year title reign? I don't know. I don't know. But here's the thing, I would not be surprised if they did it. But look, guys, I don't look right now. If you had to pick somebody to win the match, it would most likely be Roman Reigns. Right, Roman would be the favorite to win that match with Cena at SummerSlam. But you know, Cena does has a fair shot to win at SummerSlam. I would not be surprised at all if Cena won at SummerSlam. You think about it, how many big matches does Cena have left in the tank? Not many, right? And we don't know how much longer Cena's going to continue wrestling. He's already in his mid-40s and he's a Hollywood star. So how many chances are you going to still have for Cena to do number 17? I'm telling you, there's no way Cena's retiring and not getting number 17. It's going to happen sooner rather than later, unless Cena absolutely refuses to do it. That's the only way I can see it not happening. You know? But, hey, man, look. I'm telling you guys, man. Like, Cena could win at SummerSlam. He really could. Yeah, I'm getting so many texts. What the hell? Yo, Katie always saying some nonsense on Twitter, man. Anyway, let's get back into it. So now getting into the main card of Money in the Bank, right? I was not surprised this was the opener at all. With 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches, it made sense to have one start off the show and then have one near the middle towards the end and, you know, towards the main event. So you start off with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. This was clearly the, you know, I would say the more or less anticipated, just because like you didn't really have huge names in it. You didn't have any Sasha or Becky or Bailey who's out with injury, right? And this one was a lot harder to predict, you know, because you didn't have those names. You could go with Asuka, but Asuka winning back-to-back years, you know, it was unlikely, right? You know, you had Natalya and Tamina, who obviously weren't going to win because they're already tag team champions. You know, then you had Selena Vega, who, you know, could be a sneaker, but, you know, unlikely to win. It came down really to Alexa Bliss, who has won Money in the Bank before. You have Nikki Cross, right? Or as they're calling her now, Nikki Ash, almost a superhero, which is still, it's ridiculous that that's her name. And then Liv Morgan, Naomi. And you guys know I had been adamant going into this pay-per-view about either Nikki Cross or, not Nikki Cross, Liv Morgan or Naomi winning. I've been wanting to see those two push. I want to see Naomi get another title reign. Liv Morgan, she has babyface star written all over her. All over her. And especially if you guys saw the promo she cut on SmackDown, the fans are getting behind her more and more by the day. So seeing her win would have been absolutely great. So those were the two I was rooting heavily for, either Naomi or Liv. This match wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but there wasn't anything too crazy. Nothing happened really that was like wow. You had Alexa Bliss, doing her little dark powers, right? Her dark magic, which reminds me, I don't know if we'll ever see Bray Wyatt return at this point, but Bliss teased her dark magic by motioning towards the briefcase while Tamina dominated, right? One of the worst things about this match was Natalya and Tamina. They were there to fill in bodies. We like I just said, nobody saw Natalya or Tamina having a realistic shot at winning this match because they're tag team champions. They don't need the briefcase. Plus, nobody would want them. Nobody wants to see Natalya or Tamina as women's champion. They're just there to be there, right? And every time they got in the ring, because Natalya, there was a point in this match where Michael Cole called Natalya the MVP because Natalya, to her credit, every time someone would go up the ladder, it seemed like Natalya would be right there to stop them, right? She played defense for the majority of the match. She only went up the ladder maybe one or two times, right? But anytime Natalya or Tamina made a move, it feel like it took the crowd out of it. The crowd heavily was booing Tamina. Natalya didn't get as many boos, but they were heavily booing Tamina. And it just, anytime they were in the ring, it just, you wanted to turn your head away. It was just like, get away from me, right? Nobody wants to see this. So there was a point where Alexa Bliss she mesmerized the Vega, preventing her from earning the win, right? So then Natalya did a powerbomb. Morgan brought Zelina Vega down from the ladder, propped up on the bottom rope. But then she got powerbomb onto her by Naomi. Nikki had a spot in this match where she did like a crossbody on everybody in the middle of the ring. And then Alexa dropped her with Sister Abigail. But then all the other competitors decided they gang up on Alexa Bliss and they buried her under a bunch of ladders. And it's kind of funny. It was like, like Alexa Bliss got buried with ladders? Really? Little Miss Bliss, 5 feet of fury. But, Alexa got buried with a bunch of ladders, and then she was seen for the rest of the match. And then we saw 6 of the competitors scale the ladders, right? They were all fighting on the top. And all of a sudden, Nikki came out of nowhere and just took the briefcase. Just took it. And it was one of those finishes where you were like, huh? Because you normally never see that. You will usually always see some kind of big move, right? Or someone goes through a table or someone goes through a ladder on the outside. And that usually sets up the victor. Usually gives them an open run to climb the ladder. Because as they're climbing the ladder, the crowd gets into it, right? And then it usually makes for a big moment. This did not feel like a big moment at all. It felt random and out of place. Nikki Cross just climbed the ladder, and that was it. That was it. The match was over. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not sitting here saying I'm not happy for Nikki Cross. Because, like I said, Nikki has been misutilized since the day she was brought up by from NXT. They changed her gimmick multiple times. Like when she was in that tag team with Alexa Bliss, they started having Nikki Cross dressed like Alexa, wearing the same type of ring gear and all that. And then they completely changed up Nikki's gimmick when they changed her theme song a couple months ago. And now she's playing a superhero. And there's been a lot of people that don't like that superhero. She didn't really get much of a reaction tonight with that crowd. So that should tell you how people think about the Nikki Cross superhero gimmick. They're not really behind it. But she still won. And I'm happy that, I'm happy for Nikki Cross that she won. But I really, really wanted Liv Morgan or Naomi to win. Really. And Look, if Nikki goes on to be Raw Women's Champion, great, great. I would be happy for her. But let's be honest here. Let's be honest with ourselves for a sec. Do you guys really see Nikki Cross cashing in on a Charlotte Flair or on a Becky Lynch if Becky wins that title when she comes back, or even pinning Bianca or Sasha on SmackDown? I don't really see that. I honestly could see Nikki cashing in and failing. I could see that. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I want to see Nikki Cross succeed. But they have not done a good job of portraying her. They've given her this new gimmick, right? But it's like, they have not done a good job of making her like an actual threat. They've given her victories here and there, right? When she was pinning Rhea Ripley and Charlotte. But still, they have not really done a good job portraying Nikki as an actual threat, to the Raw Women's Championship. It does this Money in the Bank one felt random and out of place. And if Nikki goes on to be Raw Women's Champion, great for her. She works her ass off, and she deserves to be, in the upper main event scene of the Raw Women's division. But even though the Raw Women's division, let's be honest, it's pure garbage, mainly because of, Eva Marie. But you will see. But I don't know what the plan is for Nikki Cross. I can honestly see her holding that briefcase for a good amount of time before she does cash in. But still, I don't know. I don't know really what was the logic behind the ending of that match and the decision to have Nikki win Money in the Bank. I don't want to complain about it too much, but it just felt, I really believe Liv or Naomi should have won that match. But we'll see. I'll give it a shot. But I would not be surprised if Nikki cashes in and fails. Because especially when they were playing it up on commentary. First of all, Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, they're a great commentary duo. Pat McAfee has, been a great partner for Michael Cole on SmackDown. Fantastic. But they kept repeating how, the winner of the women's Money in the Bank match has never failed to cash in. From Carmella to Alexa, and I forgot the other winners, but Asuka, right? But the women's Money in the Bank holder has never failed to cash in. I would not be surprised if they're setting up Nikki Cross to fail, and I hope I'm wrong, but I would not be surprised if this is where this is going. Okay, but Nikki wins Money in the Bank in one of the potentially the biggest shock of the night, right? And I don't know really how to truly feel about it at the moment. But we'll see, if this leads to be a career-changing moment for Nikki, or if they turn this into something worse, right? And I hope, I want Nikki to succeed, but I don't know. Braxton says, I need to sign up for a WWE writer. I'm sorry. Look, bro, I appreciate the compliment. I would never want to be a WWE writer. Especially knowing that most of my ideas would get ignored because Vince gets the say. Vince gets the final say. And we hear all the time about how he tears up scripts, right? And everything else he does. So, look, I appreciate the compliment, but maybe if Triple H takes over the main roster and Vince retires, maybe. But, right now, nah, I think I'm good. I don't need to be a WWE writer when Vince is still in charge, right? I need to keep my sanity. But yeah. Moving on, we had the Raw Tag Team Championship match with the Viking Raiders versus AJ and Almas. I've already told you guys how, this match really should have been on the pre-show, but for some reason they decided to put this on the main show over the Smackdown Tag Team Championship match where we had new champions in the Usos. Look, I'm not mad at the match at all. The match was decent. The match was decent, but it just boggles my mind. Why did he made that decision? I don't get it. I don't get it. And it was obvious that AJ and Almas were going to retain. I feel like the only team that's going to be taking those titles from them is most likely RK Bro. Hopefully we get to see Randy Orton back on WWE TV because we have not seen him in like nearly a month, right? We haven't seen him in nearly a month. So hopefully, you know, Rainier comes back and is ready for a feud with AJ and Almas going to SummerSlam. And maybe that's when we'll see new Raw Tag Team Champions. I'll be honest, guys. I'm over Almas. I'm really over it. At Russell, like I gave him the benefit of the doubt at the beginning because he was new, but it's the same thing every single time. The same thing. Almas, sits back while AJ does the majority of the work. What the fuck? Oh, yeah, hold on. We're going to take a quick pause for a second. I don't know if you guys can see, but I got a Bleacher Report notification. John Cena's going to be on Monday Night Raw tomorrow. Wow. John Cena's going to be on Monday Night Raw, even though he should be saved for SmackDown since he's going to be challenging Roman Reigns, right? But Cena's going to be on Raw tomorrow night. Okay. Let me play this. Let me see if I can play this clip for you guys, and then we'll get back to the normal review.
You can't see me. You can see me. Money in the Bank shocked the world with so many surprises. So many of the WWE Universe have a litany of questions: who, what, when, where, why, amongst others. Well, I'm not going to make you wait for answers. I am kicking off Monday Night Raw to tell you my motivation. And you're not going to want to miss it. Oh, by the way, if you're in the Dallas area, get your butt to Monday Night Raw to see it live.
Cena's great. Cena is fantastic, man. I don't know what they have planned for Cena on Monday Night Raw. Because I feel like we all know the direction should be Cena versus Reigns. I don't expect Reigns to be on Monday Night Raw tomorrow night, but definitely that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be maybe we get Cena versus McIntyre. I would not be surprised if WWE wants to do Cena versus McIntyre because remember, Cena is technically a free agent. He is a free agent. He can go on any brand he wants. So, maybe that's what WWE wants to do tomorrow. And of course, imagine maybe we get Cena versus Drew McIntyre, and maybe Becky comes back. Monday Night Raw could be huge tomorrow night. We'll see, but definitely, whoa. Oh man, Cena on Raw tomorrow night. That's gonna be something. That's gonna be something. But anyway, let's get back to the Styles and the Raw Tag Team Championship match. Look, my problem with Almas is he moves too slow in the ring. He moves like a turtle. He lacks direction. AJ is great. He'll do most of the selling, most of the bumps, and Almas will come in and he'll do a couple power moves and that's it. Right? Almas will come in, do a move, and then he'll start going like, this is my house. Like, what the hell do you mean this is your house? You haven't done anything. Your AJ carries you in your matches. You don't do anything at all. And the sad thing is everybody knows it too. Everybody knows that Styles carries that team. But he'll sit there, go like, this is my house. He'll sit there for like 20 seconds and then like look back at Styles like Styles needs to tell him what move he needs to do back. Like, oh, Styles, like, he'll look back at AJ and be like, oh, tag me in. All right. Or, oh, put him in a rest hold or do a power slam or do a running clothesline. Like, he lacks serious direction in the ring. And it bothers me heavily. It truly does. I'm over it. The guy's not going to change. He's been out there for about 3-4 months, and he does the same thing in every match. I'm over it. I'm truly over it. This match was only good because the Viking Raiders work well as a team, and AJ Styles is great. And the sad thing is the Viking Raiders aren't over because WWE's not done a good job with getting them over. The Viking Raiders came out tonight, and if this was NXT, if this was an NXT TakeOver event, the crowd would be going wild. They got a very weak pop. Very, very weak pop there. And I did not like it at all. I was disappointed. Because WWE should have used the pandemic to get these superstars over, but they didn't. They ruined so many superstars and ruin their credibility in the process, that no one cares. Nobody cares. And it's sad because this is the freaking Viking Raiders, But it's just disappointing. They legit barely got a reaction out of that crowd tonight. But anyway, the match itself was pretty good. Eric hit Styles with a double knees. They did a clothesline / German suplex, but Styles kept kicking out. Then they went after Almas, kicking him to the floor, and then they did the Viking experience for a near fall. Actually that looked pretty close. So, like for a second there, you may have even thought the Viking Raiders were gonna win. Especially when they had Almas on the floor, nowhere to be found. But then Almas then popped up in the nick of time, shoved Eric to break up the cover. Then we saw Almas grab hold of Eric and deliver a choke bomb for the 1, 2, 3. So AJ and Almas retain in a decent match, but like I said, I'm over Almas at this point, man. The guy moves like a freaking slow ass turtle in the ring. It's ridiculous. It really is. But still, Randy Orton and Riddle should be the next in line. I expect Orton to be back tomorrow night. And hopefully at SummerSlam we get new tag team champions in RK Bro. I'm looking at this tweet from somebody. I see we've gotten to the every shortcut in the book portion of the Roman Reigns main event special. About 4 minutes away from the... That's it. That thing is funny. And this guy's just going off about Roman Reigns. Oh my gosh. Damn, look at Bobby. Bobby Lashley's freaking ripped. I want to know how these superstars, get ripped. This guy says, really hope Cena makes Roman wrestle a 2007 Cena style match and not a U.S. champion indie darling Cena match or a tribal chief formula match. Oh my gosh. Cena's return is fun, but if you really think through the Roman match, it's not compelling at all. Really think a power rematch with Lashley, diving into their history together and how Lashley left would be much better. This would be the same old, same old. Cena is probably the second best WrestleMania main event from Boston. Clearly, this guy's talking about Sasha Banks. Oh my gosh. Everyone's going to pick Cena because the guy is actually a main event level wrestler who learned how to do the thing without leaning on every crutch every time. Not a prediction, a spoiler. So Cena's character in Fast 9 really sucked and now he's bringing it back to WWE. Oh my gosh. Jeez, man. These things are funny. Damn, man. Why does this guy hate Roman so much, man? Jeez. People are funny. All right, anyway, let's get back to it. Gregory's like, hopefully Cena makes Roman his bitch again on the mic. Would not be surprised, my brother. Would not be surprised. But next up, we had Kofi Kingston versus Bobby Lashley. And, you guys have already heard me bitch and moan about this one, right? This could have been a match of your candidate. It could have been. It does not make sense to me. It does not make sense to me. Kofi Kingston, a former WWE champion, right? Who held the title for 6 months. 6 months. Half a year. Longer than Lashley's current reign, right? Someone who beat guys like Randy Orton and Samoa Joe and Dolph Ziggler and Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan. Legit names, legit champions, for the most part. It doesn't make sense to me that a guy who had a match of the year candidate with Drew McIntyre just to get a WWE Championship opportunity on Monday Night Raw with commercials gets buried in less than 10, or not buried, squashed in less than 10 minutes to Bobby Lashley. There was no fucking reason for it. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, I'm happy. I am happy that Big E won Money in the Bank. And the storyline's most likely going to be Big E getting payback for Kofi by beating Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. I get it. I see where the story's going. It doesn't make sense. It didn't have to be a squash match. They could have easily just put on a simple 15 to 20 minute great match and made this show better than it was. That's all I'm saying here. I don't know why they had to squash Kofi. Why are they doing Kofi dirty like this? We know how great Kofi is. And watch. This is what they're probably gonna do, something annoying, like they're probably gonna do something annoying and stupid, like having Kofi challenge Bobby to a rematch, and then they're gonna give us the match that we should have got tonight at Money in the Bank on Monday Night Raw with commercials and everything. That's probably what we're fucking gonna get. Cause I know this could be too well. Bunch of dumbasses, bro. I asked for one thing. I didn't ask for Kofi to win, as much as I would love to see it as a Kofi Kingston fan personally, right? I didn't ask for Kofi to win. I just asked to respectfully give these two 15 to 20 minutes to show what they absolutely could do. But instead, no, you decided, oh, wow, we have to reestablish Lashley as a dominant champion, right? By having him beat Kofi in 8 minutes where Kofi got no offense in. Nothing. It's the little things, man, that this company does. And why did they do it? They didn't do it to reestablish Lashley. They did it for fucking Goldberg, who can't wrestle more than 2 minutes without being gassed. And all he can do is finishers. So I don't get why WWE decided to make this dumbass decision. I don't. It's like the logic here makes zero sense. I really don't understand what these clowns were thinking. Dumbass people, man. Ugh. But anyway, right? This was not a competitive match. And the thing that was worse is the crowd was behind Kofi. Kofi got one of the best pops of the night. He came out and the crowd was on his side chanting Kofi. It felt like Kofi Mania in a sense. It wasn't as big as WrestleMania, of course. You're not going to get that with a 15,000 crowd compared to 70,000 like in a WrestleMania at MetLife Stadium. But the crowd was behind Kofi. But they did not give any chance for Kofi to even use that momentum to his advantage at all. This felt like this was just a longer version of Brock Lesnar beating Kofi Kingston back in 2019. I don't know why. I don't care about Lashley's dominant. I don't. I don't know, man. Kofi Kingston, man, he deserved better than this. Way better than this. Oh my gosh. So Kofi came out, had it, the crowd was clearly on his side. Lashley came out, it was mixed response for Lashley, right? Because Lashley's supposed to be the heel. But of course, Lashley does have a good amount of fans. I'm a Lashley fan, but I was pulling for Kofi all the way here. Right. And it just pisses me off because Kofi, the way fans receive him, man, he gets reactions like he's a main event guy, like he's a top star. But instead, they treat him like this. They have him lose to Brock Lesnar in less than 15 seconds on SmackDown, right? The first SmackDown on Fox a couple years ago. And then they have him squash like a bug to Lashley tonight. Lashley, Kings had a very early flurry. Not much. Lashley, just dominated him all the way, all around the ring, outside of the ring, throwing him into the ring post. and Kingston was never able to recover. Right? He put him in the hurt lock multiple times. Kingston tried fighting through it. Lashley, hit him with dominators, and then one more hurt lock. Kingston didn't tap out, but the referee had to stop it because Kingston was not going to get out of it, and that was it. This was disappointing as hell. Sad, because Kingston doesn't deserve that. I'm sorry. Lashley did not need to be reestablished by squashing Kingston. I'm sorry. We all know Lashley's a beast. It's WWE's fault for booking him, like having him lose to Xavier Woods. How does it make sense? Just, guys, think about that for a sec. How does it make sense for fucking Xavier Woods? And I like Xavier. He's good in the ring. We all know Kofi's better, but he's good in the ring. How does it make sense that Xavier Woods can pin Bobby Lashley on Monday Night Raw, right? Pin him in a competitive match, a match that was actually competitive, right? Xavier can pin Bobby Lashley in a competitive match, and then Bobby Lashley squashes Kofi Kingston in less than 10 minutes. That doesn't make sense. So you're telling me Bobby Lashley found Xavier Woods more of a challenge than Kofi Kingston, a former WWE champion? Sorry, makes zero sense to me. 0 cents. Now I'm not gonna get behind that at all. Like, no. And you did this all for Goldberg. Fuck you. Fuck you. And fuck Goldberg too. Absolutely abysmal booking. Abysmal booking, man. Next up. We'll deal with the Goldberg shit tomorrow. Watch us get a Goldberg. Watch us get Goldberg confronting John Cena on Monday Night Raw, man. Because now I'm thinking about John Cena being on Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. There's just so many things. We could get John Cena versus Drew McIntyre. We could get John Cena versus Goldberg. You can get John Cena versus, Bobby Lashley in a one-on-one match. Who knows what we're going to get with Cena on Raw tomorrow night, man. But, damn, I'm going to be thinking about that all day tomorrow. But next up, we had the Raw Women's Championship match, Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Look, I got to give credit where credit was due. You guys know I am not a Charlotte Flair fan. You guys know I think Charlotte is overrated as hell. She's easily, in my opinion, the most overrated of the 4 horsewomen. I think she's the worst of the 4 horsewomen. But Rhea Ripley and Charlotte can't put on a bad match. They can't. Their match at Hell in a Cell was underwhelming, but that wasn't a bad match. And this match, may have been better than the match they had at WrestleMania a couple years ago with no fans in the Performance Center. This was a great match. This was a great match. I saw some people said that this was better than Edge and Roman. I don't know, really. I'm not going to make a call, but still. This was a great match. It's I'm going to be honest, it seems like Charlotte has, it takes Charlotte having mediocre matches. Charlotte will have 4 or 5 mediocre matches and then have one really great match. This was that really great match. This was good. The match started, first off, Rhea Ripley came out first. She got a decent pop. Wasn't anything earth-shaking, but she got a better pop than I expected for someone who was rushed into being Raw Women's Champion. But they had Charlotte come out second, and that was my first thing, okay, Charlotte's probably winning. They tried to say on commentary that Charlotte, the only reason why Charlotte came out last because Rhea Ripley wanted to come out first. So, it was a champion's discretion. The champion could decide to come out first. No, I don't care about whatever dumbass excuse you want to make. The champion should not be coming out first. First. The champion should always come out second. It's the champion. Sorry. The champion should always be coming out last or second or whatever you want to call it. She should be coming out second. But Charlotte came out Remember, this was Charlotte's first time being out in front of the WWE crowd since the pandemic, right? Because remember, Charlotte was not on WrestleMania this year. Thank God. But still, one of the bigger moments of the night is the crowd was chanting for Becky. And there was a lot of people that thought Becky could possibly come out, at the end of this match, right? I do think Becky will most likely be there tomorrow night. She was at Money in the Bank tonight. She posted something on her Instagram. I think the caption was, "Glad to be here in Fort Worth. Hopefully no one gets taken out of the Money in the Bank ladder match tonight." Kind of like trolling, of course. Trolling, like potentially if someone gets, taken out of the match, she could replace them. Kind of like how she did a couple years ago when Lana got injured and Becky, took Lana's spot and went on to win the Royal Rumble. But I do think it's most likely that Becky will be back tomorrow night. I expect Becky to be back tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. But the chanting for Becky, no surprise there. Charlotte actually got really pissed off, and she did the middle finger, and she did the suck it DX chant. And it looked like Peacock. And here's another thing. Peacock sucks. Absolutely sucks. Right? There was multiple times during the pay-per-view tonight. I know I wasn't the only one that felt it because I went on social media and everyone was talking about it. There was multiple times during the pay-per-view tonight where Peacock was glitching out of nowhere and nobody was able to, watch the show. Right? After about 10 minutes, they finally fixed it and people were able to watch the show again. They didn't put on their social media, if you restart the Peacock app, things should be working now. That's not an excuse. We're paying for a Peacock service. I don't want to hear any excuse that Peacock had too many people on. They should have known this. If you're going to put the WWE Network on Peacock, people are going to be on Peacock all the time. No matter if they're watching live shows, live pay-per-views, or if they're watching throwback contents like past WWE shows. You should have known that you're going to have a bunch of people watching it since this is the spot to watch it. Unless you're paying for the pay-per-view like a dumbass on cable TV. WWE should, this is why I hated that WWE sold their pay-per-view rights to Peacock. There was no problem with the WWE Network. You never had these issues with the WWE Network. But you decide to take thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of content, legendary content, move it to Peacock, and even still, the entire WWE Network collection isn't even on Peacock yet, right? You decide to move all that content to Peacock, and then, now, right? You have your Peacock glitching out during pay-per-views. It's fucking insane. It's absolutely ridiculous. We should not be having these type of issues during a live pay-per-view event. It's bad enough that you can't pause on Peacock or go back during a live event. Like, you can't rewind. So if you start the pay-per-view late, like say you're at work or you weren't home, you can't rewind and start the pay-per-view from the beginning until it's, the pay-per-view is completely finished, which sucks. It's already bad enough that they had that feature. Now you have it glitching during pay-per-views, and we're paying. Some people are paying $5 to $10 a pay-per-view, or $5 to $10 a month for this service that can't even work correctly during live events. It's atrocious. It's absolutely atrocious. WWE should have just kept the network on the WWE app. I hate it, man. It's absolutely atrocious. And I hope that whenever WWE's deal with Peacock ends, it just goes back to the network. Because, man, Peacock sucks. Truly do they suck. But, anyway, that's my little rant on Peacock. Getting back to the Raw Women's Championship match, right? Charlotte got mad at the fans for chanting Becky. Rhea didn't really let it affect her as much, but Charlotte was very pissed off about it, right? And I was like, really? First of all, Peacock, why are you censoring Charlotte doing a middle finger in the suck it chant? Why? This is stuff we want to see. I'm happy that Charlotte showed that kind of emotion during the match. But here's the thing Charlotte's got to understand. The reason why people are chanting Becky is because we don't want to see you. You're overexposed. We've been going through this for the last 6 fucking years. You're, what, a 13, 14-time women's champion. And you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. You're overrated and you're overexposed. There's a reason why people were chanting for Becky. As much as I complain about Becky's title reign, she hasn't been overexposed like you have. So of course people were cheering for Becky. We don't want to see you. So don't get pissed when people are just, spitting out the truth. We don't want you. We want to see Becky. It's just the facts. It's just the facts. So, anyway, Charlotte was flustered. Like, she was actually flustered. This wasn't her character. She was flustered by the negative crowd reaction early on in the match, right? So it worked to Rhea's advantage. So, Rhea had answered everything Charlotte threw at her, but then Charlotte sent Rhea to the floor. And then Charlotte did her normal moonsault, which actually didn't look that bad for once, right? Because most of the time, Charlotte doesn't connect with the moonsault. But this one actually looked decent. And then back inside, Flair countered the Riptide into a DDT for a solid near fall. Very good counter there by Charlotte. Charlotte went for a superplex. Ripley went for a superplex. But Charlotte fought out of it and delivered natural selection off the top rope. I thought that was the end. But Rhea barely kicked out. And at this point, I thought, all right, this is where Rhea Ripley's finally going to get her win over Charlotte, right? Because technically, Rhea didn't win last month at Hell in a Cell. She got herself intentionally disqualified. So I thought, all right, this is how Rhea's going to get her win. But, everyone was shocked. But then Charlotte then put Rhea's face into the ring post and then trapped her leg into the steel steps and stomped on it again and again, which kind of didn't make sense to me. Because didn't Ripley get herself disqualified by using the announce table as a weapon? So it didn't really make sense that Charlotte was using the steel steps as a weapon multiple times, and she didn't get DQ'd for that. So from a logic standpoint, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on here? Right? Can we actually make sense with what we're saying? Can the rules actually be the rules? But after Charlotte stomped Ripley's leg in the real post, it was in the steel steps, right? After Charlotte put Ripley's leg in the steel steps, it was pretty obvious where this was going. Charlotte put the figure 8. Ripley, she tried to hold on as long as possible. And Ripley did a fantastic job of selling the pain here, but she had no choice to tap out. Charlotte gets her number 14, her 14th title reign. Fucking ridiculous. 14 title reigns in 6 years. That's over 2 reigns per year, basically. That's close to 3 title reigns a year. That's fucking insane. Charlotte gets her her 14th title reign, and she actually got a decent crowd response, But, man, now look, Charlotte's champion, and I'm just like, fuck. Even though I've been saying this was going to happen. I thought it was going to happen way back at WrestleMania Backlash in May. So it's kind of lucky that this got delayed for 3 months. But we all knew Charlotte was eventually going to win that title again. But Ripley's curse continues. She lost the NXT Women's Championship to Charlotte. Now she loses the Raw Women's Championship to Charlotte. So Ripley's curse of losing to Charlotte Flair continues. Right? And it's clear that most likely the direction is I expect Becky to come back tomorrow night on Raw. And what I think is going to happen is most likely Ripley will get her rematch at SummerSlam. So I think it's going to end up being a triple threat with Becky, Charlotte, and Ripley at SummerSlam for the Raw Women's Championship. That's what I think is going to happen. We'll have to wait and find out. Part of me thought that we were going to see Ripley, or not Ripley. Part of me thought we were going to see Becky return after this match, Charlotte was in the ring, and I thought, maybe we see Becky come back, but I think they're most likely probably gonna save that for tomorrow night. Uh, tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. But look back at Ripley's title reign. It was a disaster. The Raw Women's Division is a disaster, right? But Ripley, she did a good job tonight against Charlotte. But you look back at her title reign, it wasn't good. She shouldn't really, to be honest, she should have never won that title to begin with. They rushed her into that Raw Women's title match at WrestleMania against Asuka. And then, the last couple months have been abysmal. Because all it has been Charlotte, really. They had Asuka in there, but it's mainly just been Charlotte the last 3 months. And the title reign has not been good. The Raw Women's Division is bad. Ripley's title reign was bad. Can Ripley be fixed? Sure. But now, they got a lot of work to do. Ripley got to remember how to do a promo. We know Ripley can go in the ring, but she got to remember how to do a promo correctly. Because I don't think she's had one good promo since she's been on the main roster. Plus, her constantly losing to Charlotte Flair, you lose respect for her. You wonder, will Ripley ever be able to get that victory over Charlotte? So, look, I feel kind of bad for Ripley, but I don't feel bad at the same time because this is on WWE for rushing her into the title picture like that. And yeah, man, bad title reign for Ripley, to be honest. Very, very bad title reign. Hopefully she'll be fixed, but I don't know. I don't trust this company. I don't. But like I said, Charlotte's champ again. Oh, fuck us, man. Fuck us. Look, and then hopefully Becky comes back. Unfortunately, that means we're going to get another Becky versus Charlotte match. We've all been waiting for Becky to come back, and the first thing she's going to have to do when she comes back is get in the ring with Charlotte again. But what I think is going to happen, like I said, triple threat at SummerSlam, I think it'll be Becky versus Rhea versus Charlotte. Who wins? I don't know. But the thing about it is now we gotta remember that now we have to remember that Nikki Ash, right? Nikki Ash sees Money in the Bank. So maybe Charlotte retains at SummerSlam and Nikki cashes in afterwards. I don't know. But that is the X factor with anything that happens. Because personally, I think Becky's going to go to SmackDown because Seth Rollins, her fiance, is on SmackDown once we have the draft. So maybe what happens is, we get Becky versus Charlotte versus Rhea at SummerSlam in a triple threat. Maybe somehow Charlotte retains, and then after Nikki Cross cashes in, and then in the draft, we get Becky moved to SmackDown. Maybe that's what's going to happen. I don't know. But, I would not be surprised if that's the direction that WWE takes this. Next up, we had the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. I already ranted about Peacock because this is where my Peacock crashed. Peacock for me crashed for about 10 minutes around this time. So, this was a great Money in the Bank ladder match. This was great. And it wasn't even that long. It was kind of short. Both of the Money in the Bank ladder matches, weren't that long. Even though the women's one, nothing really happened. But this was a very enjoyable men's Money in the Bank ladder match. It focused on the big spots. And everybody really got their moment to shine. So there was a segment backstage with Riddle and I think Boogs, Shinsuke's guitar man, right? They were doing Randy Orton's theme song, but I couldn't really see what was going on because this is where Peacock was bugging. Maybe I'll go back and watch it later on if Peacock has it working again. But yeah, they were playing Randy Orton's theme song on the guitar, and Riddle said he was gonna, dedicate this match to Randy Orton. There was a funny moment where Kevin Owens was watching them, and he was like, "What the fuck are these guys doing?" And then everyone did their entrance. So Owens took an ugly bump early that hobbled him, and he was selling the leg for the rest. So then we saw Rollins and Morrison had an unlikely alliance, right, as they worked together to take out most of the baby faces. Riddle did an RKO. Riddle did 3 RKOs in this match, right, and he does it pretty well. Riddle did an RK on Seth Rollins. And then McIntyre did a Claymore on Seth. All of a sudden, right? And a lot of people were concerned that Drew McIntyre was going to win this match. McIntyre did get some boos, right? He, for the most part, he got cheered, but he did get some boos, right? Which I wasn't really that surprised with. McIntyre was taken out of the match about halfway through, right? Because Jinder Mahal, Veer, and Shaky hit the ring and they attacked Drew. So Drew's going to continue feuding with Jinder, right? You know, Drew's going to be probably mad on Monday Night Raw that, that Jinder cost him his final opportunity at becoming WWE champion. So like I said, what I think's going to happen, we're probably going to get Drew and Jinder Mahal at fucking SummerSlam, which I have no interest in seeing. No interest in seeing that at all. I had to open my window. But, yeah, but like I said, we're probably going to get Drew and Jinder at SummerSlam, which I have no care at all for. But that's probably what's going to keep Drew busy, because I'm willing to bet Drew's going to get moved to SmackDown. I've been calling it for months. I think Drew's going to get moved to SmackDown in the draft. So that's probably what they're going to keep him busy with, because, Drew's not going to be allowed in the WWE title picture as long as Lashley's champion. But, so yeah, that's the story with Drew. So I guess I won't be paying attention to Drew McIntyre on Monday Night Raw for the foreseeable future while he feuds with Jinder Mahal. Because you guys know I have no fucking care for Jinder Mahal. So back to it. Ricochet did an amazing bump. So basically, I don't remember if it was Seth or somebody else. Somebody pushed Ricochet off the ladder. He bounced on the he bounced on the top rope and did, I forget what it was. It wasn't a moonsault, or it may have been a swanton. But Ricochet had a beautiful, beautiful high-flying maneuver where he took out everybody at ringside. One of the best bumps of the night, or best spots of the night. Great stuff. Like, I don't understand how Ricochet's not being used more on Raw. This guy is everything you want in a high flyer. Everything, man. The guy is amazing. The guy should be used more. For real. The fact that he hasn't won another mid-card title, it's insane to me. He has everything you would want in a high flyer. The guy is absolutely amazing in the ring. And then Owens started dishing out stunners, right? He did a pop-up powerbomb to Ricochet, which Ricochet sold beautifully. Then Rollins went after Owens, targeting his injured leg and powerbombing him through a ladder that was propped up between the ring and the announce table, right? KO, man, I got to give that guy credit. He's always taking crazy, crazy bumps. No matter if it's flying off the Thunderdome screens, getting hit off a ladder, right, man? Like, props for Kevin Owens for taking all those crazy bumps and continuing the fight. So then, all of a sudden, as it looked like Rollins was going to win, Big E came out of nowhere, hit him with a beautiful big ending off the ladder onto the ring, and then got the briefcase for the victory. Epic moment, great moment for Big E. I was super happy for him. He was the odds-on favorite, in my opinion. Him and Drew were the favorites, and I'm glad that Big E won. As disappointed as I am within the Kofi Kingston and Bobby Lashley match from earlier, and how Lashley squashed Kofi, clearly the story's most likely going to be Big E cashing in on Lashley to win the WWE Championship. And like I said earlier, Big E winning the WWE title is like the entire New Day winning the WWE title. We've heard the rumors of Big E being moved to Monday Night Raw and reuniting him with the New Day. I think that's what's going to happen. Plus, there was a really cool pic of the New Day celebrating with Big E backstage after his victory. Kofi tweeted out how happy he was for his friend. So it was like the same support that Big E and Xavier showed Kofi when he won the WWE Championship, right, a couple years ago at WrestleMania 35 against Daniel Bryan. it's like they're giving him that support back, to Big E now. So now it's Big E's time. Kofi had his time. As disappointed as I am in the match that they had him have with Lashley, still, that was still, it's Big E's time. It's Big E's time, and I'm happy for him. You know, what I could definitely see, since sadly we're getting Goldberg and Lashley most likely at SummerSlam, I can see Lashley beating Goldberg and then Big E cashing in afterwards. I think that's what's gonna happen at SummerSlam. But we'll wait and see. But I'm happy for Big E. Fantastic moment. He absolutely deserves it. And man, was that a great spot. Outside of John Cena winning, or not John Cena winning, John Cena returning, this was my favorite spot of the night. Super happy. You guys know I made the video on why Big E should win Money in the Bank. I'm glad I was right, man. But it was just great to see Big E get that moment. I'm excited to see him, win the WWE Championship. It's most likely going to be the WWE title. They could change it to the Universal title, but I think it's more likely that it's going to be the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. So Big E wins Money in the Bank in a great moment, a great match. So they got the match right, and they got the winner correct as well. Oh yeah, and here's the one thing. Imagine Drew had won that Money in the Bank ladder match. He would have got the shit booed out of him. WWE would have been forced to turn Drew back into a heel. Because as much as I love Drew, there are some people that want them to chill with the Drew push. And people wanted Big E to win that match. So it's a good thing that Drew didn't win. Because as much as Drew deserves that big win in front of the crowd, because he never won the WWE Championship in front of the crowd because of the pandemic, he would have got the shit booed out of him. Because it would have felt like Roman Reigns as a babyface. Like, they just keep pushing Drew down our throats. Like, can we give us a break from Drew for a little bit? Let us breathe a little bit. All right? But yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. When you have a top guy, man, you gotta learn to, give them breaks here and there. You can't always have them at the top. You gotta let us breathe. When you just push them and push them and push them, and you have them beat everybody and everybody. Yes, they look dominant, but fans are gonna want a break here and there and let someone new take over. So let Drew breathe, right? Give him a break from the title scene from now. And then when we had the draft, you move him over to SmackDown, you give him some new opponents, then we can push Drew again. But for right now, let him breathe, man. He's been in the WWE Championship run or hunt now for over a year and a half. Give him a little bit of a break. I would not mind Drew being off TV until the draft, but that's not going to happen. But still, man, just, have him do his feud with Jinder Mahal. We may not care about it, but at least it gives him something to do while he's taking a break from the WWE title. But yeah. Yeah, hopefully Kevin Owens is okay as well. But yeah, good match, great ending, right winner. We'll see what happens with Big E going forward. So last but not least, the Universal Championship match. We knew this was going to be the main event of the show. Edge versus Roman Reigns. This was great. This was great. I will say this, though. This match was super predictable. You guys know I've been saying this for weeks. We all knew that, especially with Edge as the babyface, the reason why Edge was not going to win this match was because Seth Rollins. We knew that the plan going to SummerSlam was most likely going to be Edge versus Seth Rollins, right? And most likely John Cena versus Roman Reigns. And that match was, especially the ending was as predictable as a match could be. But I will say this. Two things. I will say this. Roman Reigns, man, I am a huge fan of him now because of this heel run. And his theme hits so fucking hard with a live audience. When we're hearing in the Performance Center, or not the Performance, in the Thunderdome, yes, that was great. But that theme was made for a live audience, and it is great. Someone told me when they first heard it reminded them of a boss battle in like Final Fantasy, or in a big like an open world shooter type of game. Dude, Roman Reigns' theme with a live audience is amazing. You have the intro, right, with the choir and everything, and then the piano. And then the fans reacting as he comes out. His slow walk to the ring, his grins, his emotions. He does the title in the air. And yes, I complain all the time that his entrance is a little bit too long, but that doesn't mean it's not epic. It's an epic entrance. It is awesome. I love Roman Reigns' entrance with with the new theme music. The only thing I would complain is that his entrance is a little bit too long. It shouldn't take you 4 to 5 minutes to get down to the ring, man. Like Roman gotta chill with that. But still, his theme hits so fucking hard with the live audience. No matter if they're cheering or booing him, it is a great entrance, and he should not be changing it anytime soon. He should never go back to that Shield music. He should have that theme for the rest of his career. It is beautiful. Beautiful. So, Edge, of course, Edge got that crazy pop as well, right? We all knew it. Like, anytime you hear that, if you think you know me, people are going to go crazy, right? I don't know if it was good as his pop on Friday, but still, it was a great prop, great entrance. It's Edge. What else do you expect? But the thing I was going to mention is Roman's matches. I'm not saying they're bad, but it seems like they're the same thing every single time. This match was close to, or it may have been over 30 minutes, right? Roman's matches kind of have the same thing every single time, and I've been noticing that. The match with Cesaro, right? Who was it? The match with Daniel Bryan. They start off slow and they pick up later on. Because Roman feels his opponent out for the first 5 minutes, right? Then he starts going into his dominance. Then the babyface makes a comeback, right? Then you get the end with all the submission moves. Then the Superman punches, and then that other, the other guy does his finisher. Then you get the kickouts, and then finally Roman either ends it with a spear or he does the guillotine. Right, his matches have the same style every single time, and I'm just like, let's chill out. It's starting to become a little bit repetitive. Now, I'm not saying the matches aren't good. The matches are great. His title reign has been fantastic, but I'm noticing they're doing the same style of match every single time, and it's just a little bit obvious. I think they need to chill out a little bit with that. But still, man. And Paul, yes, I see what you said. I talked about Cena being on Raw a little bit ago. I think it's just to make Monday Night Raw a little bit bigger, right? I think we all know that Cena's gonna be challenging Roman, but they're just gonna, because Cena's a free agent, right? They're gonna try to give the ratings a boost by having Cena on Raw tomorrow. Maybe they give Cena some kind of match with Drew McIntyre or something like that, But Cena is most likely gonna challenge Roman. And I think that's the match we all want. But back to Roman, like I said, it's the same style of match, and WWE needs to be careful not to repeat that. It was a great match with Edge. No complaints about it. But I'm just noticing that it seems like Roman's matches have the same style every single time. And I just don't want Roman to become like repetitive, because he's too good to be repetitive or to have any real negative flaws. But like I said, this match was predictable, and we all knew Roman was gonna win, But still, it doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. So let me just Edge countered a Superman punch midway through with a backslide for 2 because Roman was dominating. Roman had Edge in like the rest holds, and Roman was talking mad crap like, "Don't clap, don't say anything, man. I can keep him in this all day. He ain't never gonna get out." And the way Edge's face was, Edge did a great job of selling, right? Because it looked like Edge wasn't going to make it to the end of this match. So then Edge countered a Superman punch and did a backslide for 2. Then they both did a double leg spot. Edge capitalized and did stomps on him in the corner. Then he did the STF, which is kind of ironic because we saw John Cena return at the end of the night. But he did the STFU. Then Edge went for a spear, but Roman grabbed hold and did the guillotine choke. So then they started fighting on the outside of the ring. Edge dodged the spear from Reigns, who crashed into the Timekeeper's area, breaking the barricade. Then Edge speared him through another barricade. Then back inside, Roman was able to counter with a Superman punch, who bumped the referee, and we all knew where this was going, right? This is where I knew this match. I knew this was going to be the ending of the match. Because you look on SmackDown, right? Edge has been putting Roman and his cousins in that choke with the chair piece every single week. And this match was not, it was a normal match. It was, there was no special stipulation. It wasn't no holds barred or no disqualification. So you knew, that something wacky was going to happen where the referee was going to be taken out for that chair to come into play. So after Roman hit the Superman punch, Edge, as he was falling down, bumped into the referee, Charles Robinson, and then, the referee was down. Medical staff had to take Robinson back, and as we waited for a replacement, Roman went and got a chair, and he broke it. And then when he went to do the crossface, Edge reversed it, and he had Roman in the crossface with the chair piece on his mouth for a good 2-3 minutes. And Roman didn't tap out, but it's clear, I give credit for Roman, man. That must have actually really hurt, if Edge was fully applying pressure. And then Edge was making had that crazed look on him. So then afterwards, the Usos tried to come out to help Roman, right? Especially with the ref down, but then the Mysterios attacked him, to keep them from interfering. So, but then Seth Rollins, who we all knew was going to appear, Seth Rollins came out of nowhere and hit Edge with a super kick from behind and then left. So then the new referee came down to the ring, right? Roman went for a spear, but Edge countered with a spear of his own for a very, very close 2 count. And the thing about it is, Michael Cole sounded kind of dumb on commentary because the fans were chanting 1, 2, and Roman, even though there was no ref in the ring, Roman kicked out at 2.5, right? Because he thought there was a ref in the ring. So, but then Michael Cole was like, that was at least a 10 count before Roman kicked out. But, he forgot to mention that Roman kicked out while there was no referee in the ring. So then the referee did come in, and then he went for, an actual official pinfall count, and then Roman kicked out. And then Edge was shocked, everybody else was shocked, and it was clear that Edge was not going to win. Edge went for another spear, and then Seth Rollins appeared on the apron. Edge took out Seth, and then, but that distraction allowed Roman to hit Edge with a actual spear. 1, 2, 3, Roman retains. No surprise there. The last 5 minutes of the match, even though it was great, it was predictable as hell. We all knew Edge was going to break the chair and use it, right? We all knew that was going to happen. But it wasn't going to do much because, remember, this was a normal championship match. This was not no DQ or anything like that. We all knew Seth was going to get involved, especially after Seth lost Money in the Bank. He lost Money in the Bank, and then he got interviewed, and he was very frustrated. He was screaming, I shouldn't have even been in that match. Classic heel excuse. And then he was saying, oh, I should have been in that match. I should have been in the Universal Championship match. And then he was screaming like how he got next, how he wanted the next opportunity for the Universal Championship. And that led to him attacking Edge because Seth believes that Edge stole his opportunity. So that it made sense that Seth was going to attack Edge. We've been predicting this for fucking weeks. So then, after the match, Seth is still beating down on Edge. Then he got in Roman's face, and then he said, I'm coming for you, right? Roman didn't have much of a reaction. But then Edge recovered and then attacked Seth. They went brawling into the crowd, and that's when I knew what was going to happen. Because they could have easily ended the show like that. But then Roman, grabbed the microphone, and he said, everyone acknowledged me. And out of nowhere, we got the pop. Like I said, one of the greatest pops I think in WWE history. I really, truly think that. That was an insane pop. Cena's music plays. He comes out, runs down to the ring, And then he got in Roman's face, did the "you can't see me." Roman was in absolute shock. Cena posts to the crowd. Money in the Bank goes off the air. So even though Cena's going to be on Raw tomorrow night, I feel like we all know Cena versus Reigns is the way to go. Easily. But I agree with you, Paul. Seth did not deserve the opportunity. He didn't. I mean, not Seth. Edge didn't deserve the opportunity. Edge did not do anything to earn the opportunity. Remember, Seth had made it clear that he wanted a match against Roman. He told Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville that. Edge came out of nowhere and attacked Roman and then just went to the back and demanded a championship opportunity. It makes sense for Seth to be mad about that. We'll see how this Seth and Edge feud goes. It's a dream match for many people, and I think it will be a great match at SummerSlam, right? But I'm gonna be honest, I'm more excited for Cena versus Reigns. I like that pop tonight. Whew, absolutely amazing, absolutely insane, and I cannot wait. And I cannot wait. Because this Roman Reigns, this is not the same Roman Reigns that Cena faced back at No Mercy back in 2017. This is not the same Roman. He is on a total different level in the ring, on the mic. The promo segments between Cena and Reigns, especially now that we have crowds back. We all remember the famous segment where Cena told Reigns, I'm still here because you can't do your job. And the lines where he said, "This is the promo, kid. If you want to be the big dog, you got to learn how to do it." One of my favorite promo segments of all time. If we thought that was good, imagine the promo segments we're going to get with Cena and Reigns now. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. As great as Reigns is, I want Cena to get number 17. How many more opportunities is Cena going to have at this stage of his career? We're lucky to get John Cena at this time. We're lucky. This might be the best time to do it. Would it really hurt Roman if Cena won number 17? I don't know. But I want to see Cena get number 17. I don't think people are going to complain. Because most likely if Cena beats Roman for the title, it's not going to be a super long title reign. Because we know that Cena, he has other movie deals. He's not going to be, here forever. I don't know how long this run is going to be for Cena, but, we'll see. We'll see. But, if there's ever a time to do number 17 for Cena, it is now. I know some people are going to be like, "Oh, I'd rather see Cena versus Lashley." Yes, that would be great, but Cena versus Reigns is the biggest match you can do right now. That is, you want to get the ratings up? This is the match. This is the feud you got to give us. Cena versus Reigns, SummerSlam. There is no bigger match. If we get Cena versus Reigns, Seth versus Edge, Sasha versus Bianca 2, right? Look, that's a stacked SummerSlam card just based off those 3 matches. Plus, you add in the return of Becky Lynch. Maybe Big E cashing in on Bobby Lashley. Look, SummerSlam could be absolutely epic. So, man, oh man, I am hyped. As much as WWE disappoints me all the time, man, I'm very, very, very excited for SummerSlam. Just from the sheer fact that Cena is back. But that's about it, guys, man. Woo, what a night. What a review, man. It feels good to be back. Man, Cena is back. All is right in my world. Look, man, as much as WWE pisses me off, man, that Cena return was absolutely epic. Like one of the greatest pops I've ever seen. You guys know, for those of you guys don't know, Cena is my favorite WWE superstar of all time after Sasha Banks, of course. Right? Sasha's my female GOAT, and on the men's side, Stone Cold Steve Austin and John Cena. Those are my favorites, man. I grew up a huge John Cena guy. Wabadu! But John Cena is back. Cena versus Reigns at SummerSlam, most likely. It's going to be epic. And, it's just great to have wrestling back to where it should be. As much as WWE pisses us off with their bad creative sometimes, man, moments like Cena's return tonight make wrestling what it is. We can complain and bitch and moan all we want about how bad WWE is, but moments like that is why we watch WWE still. Moments like John Cena returning is why we still watch WWE. And that was absolutely fantastic tonight. Absolutely fantastic. You know, it saved this show. This wasn't a perfect show, especially the first half. Lots of questionable decisions. The bad WWE Championship match, right? The Raw Tag Team title match being on the show instead of the Smackdown Tag Team title match, which was on the pre-show. Charlotte winning another title. You know, Nikki Ash winning Money in the Bank over Liv and Naomi. Lots of questionable decisions in the first half of the show that I didn't really like. But the second half with Big E winning Money in the Bank, the great match with Edge and Roman, as predictable as it was, and the absolute epic return of John Cena, it saved the show. And that's all we're going to be talking about going tomorrow, the return of John Cena, man. Pauses the fact Naomi lost is Axel. Bro, I don't know what to say about that. The ending of that. Like I said, I don't know what to say about the ending of that. That woman's Money in the Bank match. It was garbage. It truly was garbage, bro. I don't know what to tell you guys. Yeah, but either way, if you guys got anything to say in the chat, let me know real quick. Let me know in the chat real quick. I kind of want to rewatch John Cena return right now. Oh, shoot. John Cena addressed the WWE Universe after Money in the Bank. Like, after Money in the Bank went off the air, you know, Cena stood in the ring and gave a speech. So I want to hear this. I got to hear this. Hold up.
Grammarly helps make your writing clear and concise, no matter where you are. With Grammarly on your computer and...
Yeah, and you know, JD is still live on YouTube, so that's why no one's in our stream, because everyone's watching JD's review, of course. I gotta play this.
So weird, because I'm used to you guys telling me how much I suck. Man, this feels pretty good.
Oh, the GOAT. I love this guy, man.
I see this dude's sign over here. It says, if Cena shows up, we cheer. Is this like Bizarro World?
If Cena shows up, we cheer. Usually when Cena shows up, you know, they boo. They're like, John Cena sucks. You know, but he's been gone for so long. And this is what's so great. You know, people for years got tired of John Cena. The second he's gone for a while, right? And you see how hard the WWE is. You see how difficult it is for WWE to continue without him. The second he comes back, it's like, boom. He's the biggest babyface in the company again. Everyone loves him. It's so good to have Cena back, bro.
I see this dude's sign over here. It says, if Cena shows up, we cheer. Is this like Bizarro World? What's going on?
Man, this crowd is absolutely epic. Look at Cena's hair with the fresh fade. Oh, man.
Tonight, I just wanted to come out here and let Roman Reigns know that I was back, and I certainly wanted to come out here to let all of you know that I'm back.
How long are you back, though, man? I know you got movies, but how long are you back? Is it like 1 month? Is it 2 months? Is it 6 months? How long are you back, bro?
And I promise you, this is not a one night only, but what's special to me is that this is the first night.
Yes!
As always, I want to thank all the WWE superstars for putting their lives and their bodies on the line to entertain all of you, but most importantly, I missed you guys. I really missed you guys. So as much as I'm thankful and grateful for them, man, I love you guys, and I really missed you, and thank you so much for being here tonight and making this moment special to me and special to everybody in here. Thank you so much. Have one hell of a night.
That fucking pop! And then Cena does the armband. He threw a t-shirt out. Dude is ripped. What a night. What a moment. Holy shit. Holy shit. Woo! What a night. What a moment. My GOAT, my favorite male superstar of all time, John Cena, is back. Look, I'm sorry, guys. I want to see him get number 17. If we Cena versus Reigns, I'm pulling for Cena all the way. I love Roman. He's fantastic. He should have been here all the time, but I am rooting for Cena at SummerSlam. No doubt. No doubt I'm voting for Cena all the way at SummerSlam, but it is glad to have him back. What an epic moment. I cannot wait for Monday Night Raw. I can't believe I just said that. I can't wait for Monday Night Raw to see what Cena does. Do we get the return of Becky Lynch? I don't know. I know that the second I hear Goldberg come out to confront Bobby Lashley, I'm going to be depressed and angry, and I will probably rant and bitch and moan on the review like I usually do. But the fact that Cena is back, man, it makes almost everything feel better. It really does. And no matter how long he's back, we don't know how long he's going to be back. We don't. No matter if it's 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, as long as he's here, let's appreciate Cena, man. Let's appreciate it. Because when he does retire and he's gone for good, we are going to miss him. We missed him the last 2 years, especially with the pandemic, right? We missed him the last 2 years. Now he is back. No matter how long he's here, no matter what he does, the fact that he is here, let's just be grateful to have him here. And for as long as he is here, man, let's just enjoy it. Let's just enjoy having one of the all-time greats, the all-time GOATs here with us, man. John Cena is back. All right. And other than that, guys, that's about all I got for you guys today. Thank you guys so very much for joining me here on the Legit2 podcast. We did over 2 hours. Thanks for everyone that was here. I know a lot of my other subscribers are watching JD's review, which is still going on. So I know some of you guys are going to be watching this review after JD's review. So it is what it is. But either way, guys, thank you guys for all the love and support. Thank you to everyone that was in the chat room. Thank you to everyone that was in the live stream. For those of you guys who watch on demand, thank you guys for the love and support. We will be right back here tomorrow night reviewing Monday Night Raw. We'll be talking about the WWE Championship, talking about John Cena, hopefully talking about Becky Lynch, all of that. So make sure you guys are here for the Raw review tomorrow night. If you guys haven't checked out the Smackdown review, that is live on the channel. It's going to be a busy week because we also have Dragon Ball Super, Vegeta's new form for my anime people. So I will have videos on that. Expect a lot of cool content, guys, this week. Thank you guys for the love and support. Other than that, guys, I will see you all later. Follow me on social media. The links are in the description down below. Also, guys, make sure to subscribe. You guys are new to the channel. Hit the red button. Hit the bell right next to my name, Fitz TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. Thank you guys for everything. Stay safe. Stay healthy, y'all. Until then, until I see you guys, stay cool. Peace.